Hey folks, this is James. I'm the unofficial mayor of Cowboy Country, and I want to welcome you back to the channel. This channel is about college sports. It's not just about football. However, I have to be honest, I didn't get to watch most of the Oklahoma State versus Wichita State game because I'm working on a final paper for my class. However, I will say this. I am glad that Oklahoma State won. I'm glad that Bryce Thompson and I forgot the name of he's one of the newer players, stepped up. They said that combined, these two guys scored 35 points. So it's like I'm happy that they held Wichita State to 49 points, but I'm not happy that they only scored 59 points. I'm expecting Oklahoma State to go out there and score at least 80 points a game. It ain't there. Other folks need to step up. It is what it is. But they'll get better over time. I'm pretty sure about that. And speaking of basketball, that's what we're here to talk about today. I was looking at what Baylor was doing by them moving their basketball arena off campus. Yeah, granted, they're going from a 10,000 capacity, the Farrell Center to this new arena that only holds about 7,500. I think it's a good move because I've been there a couple times, and I mentioned this in the video I did a couple days ago. They're putting the basketball arena near a whole bunch of apartment complexes. And guess who lives in those apartment complexes? Baylor students. So it makes it much easier for them to get up, walk a couple blocks, go to the game, cheer on their team. The Bears are doing a pretty smart move. But you got to understand, the Farrell Center doesn't have the same historic it doesn't have the history that Gallagher-Iba Arena has. So I thought about it a lot, and part of me wanted to kind of, if you could convince First Christian Church to move across the street, to build essentially what would be a bigger than the original, but not as big as the current Gallagher-Iba, and make it look more like the original next to it. I thought if you built a modern version of what Gallagher-Iba was, it would be honoring the legacy. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I really don't want to tear down Gallagher-Iba. I want to leave the building as it is, but there's things that you can do to help the basketball, both men's and women's. So here are my two ideas. I actually have two ideas. Number one, I would like to buy, convince First Christian Church to build a building across the street. They already have a parking lot over there, but have them build a new church over there. And this place where First Christian Church is, what I would do is build a practice facility that's just for basketball. You're like, well, we already have an indoor practice facility for basketball. It's called Gallagher-Iba Arena. I know that. But what I've done over the years is pay attention to what other schools have done. And Kansas State, I was there in 2020. I will tell you that next to their arena, which they call the Octagon, and obvious if you've ever been inside of it, the shape of the building. But next to it, what they did is they built this indoor practice facility. And what you can do, and it makes it so interesting, they got 2 courts on one side and 2 courts on the other. You can actually be up. They have this walkway above where you can literally look one way and watch people playing, or you can look the other way and watch people playing. the whole idea is that essentially, if you have more room to practice and you have space, we literally, if there's a men's game going on, you can have the women practicing over there and vice versa. I just think it would help our basketball program as a whole. The second thing I thought of was, in reality, I mean, let's face facts. Oklahoma State and OU have the same problem when it comes to basketball. And it's a good problem to have. I mean, if you live in the state of Oklahoma, the only professional team that is there is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I love the Oklahoma City Thunder. But a lot of basketball fans are not willing to make that trip to Stillwater when they can just go downtown Oklahoma City and watch a basketball game there. So, I mean, literally, both schools have taken a hit when it comes to attendance. So here's what I would do. And I don't know how to explain this. I'd have to come up with some kind of drawing or something. But on one side, I know the side that faces the football stadium, you have suites up there, and you can face this way into and look at the basketball game. And if you're facing that way, you're looking into the football stadium. But up on the other side, there are no suites up there. What I would do is I would take about, 10 rows, just get rid of them, and I would build a club section up there. So you have an entrance in the middle, and then you have these special club seats that have more amenities, food, television, stuff like that. A lot of times, people that are in the suites inside of, for example, Boone Pickens Stadium, are literally watching the OSU game, but they got another game on the TV at the same time. So, and I even do it myself. I have YouTube TV, and granted, I let my kids have a couple of the. You can have up to 6 people signed in, but 2 of them are mine. So I'll have one game on my tablet and another game on my phone at the same time. Sports fans across America do it. They even do it while they're at the arena. So anyway, the reason I mention this is because if you have more club seats inside of Gallagher-Iba, these are for fans who have more money, and we do have. I'm not saying that every OSU fan is rich, but we do have some OSU fans that have pretty good money. And I think if we had more club seats, this would bring in more revenue for basketball, and it would overall help the program. And plus, it would improve the fan experience. If you got the money for those club seats, you're getting those extra amenities and luxuries, you probably would spend the money if you had it. I know I would. When I worked the OSU events through Express, unfortunately it's through Stadium people now, but whatever. There was 1 or 2 times where I actually got to work up in the club area. And believe me, having those TVs, the buffet, it was really nice. if we could bring some of that inside of Gallagher-Iba, I mean, I know we already have some suites on the side that faces the football stadium, but if we had some on the opposite side, I think it would bring in more revenue. I think it would bring in, I just think it would improve the atmosphere. Because here's what I would do. I would take that area. I would take one area in particular, and I would use it for recruiting purposes. So in other words, if there's a recruit coming in and they're interested in Oklahoma State basketball, I would have the recruit and their family up in that club area. And that would be a way to kind of wine and dine recruits in hopes to encouraging them to come to Oklahoma State. So I'm not thinking of it just as a fan experience thing. I'm also thinking of it as a way of improving recruiting. So I think it's a win-win scenario. I think it's a good idea. I think having improved basketball facilities as far as practice would help as well. And ultimately, when you get better players and you're getting, you get better recruits, you get better players, you're building up the team again, and we hopefully, God willing, can get back to what I refer to as the glory days back in when 2003, 2004, we were going to the Final Four, we were winning Big 12 championships. That's what we want. Back in the day when we had the Graham twins and IMAC and Tony Allen and you name it. And even the role players like Terrence Crawford were important. So anyway, those are my thoughts. No, I do not want them to tear down Gallagher-Iba Arena. I don't think that would be a bad idea. But I will say this. Because of the Oklahoma City Thunder, because of the fact that some of the fans from Oklahoma City are not making that trip up to Stillwater, we really don't need a capacity of 13,611. I don't care if OU has a bigger facility than ours. I could care less about that. What I want is to have 12,000 loud, screaming fans wearing orange inside of Gallagher-Iba Arena. And then hopefully have a club area where you have one section dedicated towards hosting recruits and their families so that will improve recruiting. So, anyway, if you are new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. I know hitting 1,000 was a lofty goal, and we're far from it, but you know what? I'm grateful for the people that we have. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And as always, go Pokes. And have a great weekend.